The Isaiah Factor Uncensored starts right now.
And welcome and thank you for joining us here on The Factor Uncensored. President Joe Biden, who was in Houston tonight and caused my bike route to be blocked downtown, but it's a POTUS, I'll let that slide, has unveiled the three major changes he wants to see at the nation's highest court. The first one being an enforceable ethics code for justices. The second one, term limits of 18 years on the bench instead of a lifetime. And finally, a constitutional amendment that would limit the justices' recent controversial decisions on presidential immunity. Joining us here on The Factor Uncensored to talk about it tonight, Judge Mike Fields, Social Science Department Chair at the University of Houston downtown, Dr. David Branham, and Dr. Dietrich von Biedenfeld with Houston Community College. Glad to have you all here on The Factor Uncensored. So, where is this coming from, Dr. Branham, from your perspective? You have a good sense.
Well, we can remember that Joe Biden's been a politician for about half a century.
Yes.
And now he's coming up with this. Now.
So you could say the same thing for senators.
Right. He finally thought
members
of
it.
it.
Congress.
So this is coming from, okay, I have 6 months left. What am I going to do?
Lame duck action.
Absolutely, because this is not going to happen. There's no pathway for this to possibly happen. Matter of fact, this stuff is not going to happen in our lifetimes. Most of this is not going to happen in our lifetimes. There are a couple things that can happen. The ethics rules need to be in place, but they've already made that move, and they've already started that. And the presidential immunity, that's going to be a court issue. So there's going to be very little on this that goes forward. As far as the constitutional amendments go, which is required for what he wants to do with the Supreme Court justices, the president doesn't have anything to do with that. The president, it's Congress and the states. So his action is basically saying, I'm going to use this microphone to try to push this in my last months.
All right. So, Dr. von Biedenfeld, your thoughts about this? At the core, many people can see Clarence Thomas has been there for 32 years and has been in a lot of trouble over the problems, because it's not trouble to him. He's continuing on lifetime appointment. Do you think he's at the core of this issue? And, of course, what they decided with Donald Trump just recently.
I think I agree with Dr. Branham that this is a political lightning rod that he's going to use to channel energy into the base. I mean, on the other side of the aisle, you've got President Trump talking about removing birthright citizenship. Not going to happen, but it's a great talking point. And again, on the same point, why would you want to be a Nepo baby in Sears and Roebuck or Arthur Anderson? We used to be Tesla or something like that, but maybe right now, Social Security, et cetera. But it's a great talking point. And on the flip side, when we think about court packing under FDR, when we think about the variability of the court, we've settled on this for over 100 years. This is where it's going to be with tradition, stare decisis, those sorts of ideas. We like tradition. And the Congress is not going to be amenable to it. But at the end of this, we do see a lot of resentment for example, Clarence Thomas's RV and his private jet trips and things like that. But what about the self-regulation of Congress and the presidents? Many of these areas are able to set their own independent governing rules for who can be on the floor, right? When Speaker Pelosi instituted certain bans on guns on the floor and then fined members. That was not a Article 3 discussion. That was not an Article 2 discussion. That was in her purview. Then the same way the court is going to push back and say, we are in charge of our self-regulation. We are an equal, co-equal branch of government. And so keep talking about it. Keep fueling the base. The Constitution is clear about lifetime appointments. A little ambiguity, I guess, Judge, but not 18 years.
Okay. And let's bring in you, Judge Fields. What we know is the progressives brought this up in 2020. Joe Biden wasn't interested in it, and he had a report done, and he got the report in 2021 and never did anything on it, but now he's talking about it. But taking a look at the issue for what it is, do you think we should limit the time Supreme Court justices sit on that bench?
No. I think a lifetime appointment is exactly what the Constitution calls for and exactly what we need. The reason that we can have some confidence that Supreme Court justices are doing exactly what they want to do is because you can't give them anything that will remove them from the bench. You can't vote for them and get them off of the bench. They're there. So if you're their friend and you do something for them, and obviously we need ethics rules in place, and we discussed this on another show, and my position then was the Supreme Court needs to set up ethics rules and enforce them, and they have. We may disagree with how they do it, but we've seen more disclosures now. With respect to the constitutional amendment, either the 2/3 of the legislature has to vote to create a specific constitutional amendment, we haven't done that since the 90s, or 2/3 of the state's legislatures have to vote to have a constitutional convention, and then 3/4 of the states would have to ratify whatever changes come along. That's not going to happen. It's not going to happen in 99 days. It's not going to happen in 99 years.
And really quick, Dr. Branham, your thoughts in the last 20 seconds on the idea of limiting Supreme Court justices.
I think the Constitution put it in there that with good behavior they could stay. You can.
Good behavior.
Good behavior, yeah. You can impeach them. That's the way to remove them. If you want to impeach them, you can impeach them. So this way, they don't have to worry about that removal, which actually changes how you look at things and changes how you do things. Look at President Biden right now when he's facing this lame duck period here, how he's changing a few things and how he goes forward. So that's basically what the effect would be.
All right, gentlemen, thank you for joining us here on The Factor Uncensored.